All right. Hello, everybody. We are at the top of the hour here. So thank you all so much for attending the SACAC, Southern Association for College Admission Counseling virtual college fair. We have some fantastic institutions tonight to tell you a little bit more about themselves. My name is Sibel Rasim. I'm your facilitator for tonight. So I'll be helping moderate the entire program. But I do have some housekeeping items for you all as attendees today at our virtual college fair. So a couple of things to just keep in mind. First and foremost, you're going to have questions, and as you absolutely should have questions. Do not use that chat function as an attendee. Your chat function is actually disabled. The only way that you are going to be able to use the chat function is to actually check out if any of the institutions today presenting sent maybe their information or a link that you need to click on to apply or whatever it be. If they have information to share, you will find it in the chat function. But we can't chat back and forth. Your video is turned off and you are muted, so your panelists cannot see or hear you. So you're definitely going to want to figure out how to answer or get your questions out there. Down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you will see what is called a Q&A button. Okay, that Q&A button is what you click and you go ahead and put any questions that you may have for any institution. I do please ask my attendees tonight, if you have a question, you're putting it in the Q&A, please make sure to address the university or college that it is for. We want to make sure that the questions are going to those specific universities or colleges, or if you have a few in mind, make sure to separate those questions as well, okay? Also, we are on the last session here, so we no longer have any more sessions to sign up for, so please disregard the signing up for more sessions part of the slide that you're seeing, but a recording will be available of this entire presentation about a week after this presentation ends. So definitely keep checking the website. It's on the same page that you registered for this virtual college fair. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our first university, Winthrop University. You are going up next. And then we have Hofstra as well. All right, Allison, go for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here. I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. I don't want to spill into any of my colleagues' time here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to be with us here tonight. My name is Allison Blackwelder. I am an admissions counselor at Winthrop University. We are located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And really quickly, I want to show you a short little video, and then we'll get started with a little bit more info. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for watching that with me. So we are Winthrop University, founded in 1886 as a women's teaching college. We are now a medium-sized public co-ed university, consistently ranked in the top 10 public universities in the South, which we're really proud of. We are one of only 37 universities in the entire country with all of our arts programs nationally accredited. All 5 of our arts programs are nationally accredited. We have a 91% student placement rate, with several of our programs actually being right at 100% student placement rate. And we are the most diverse student population of all South Carolina colleges, something that we also very much value. Like I said, we are located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We're about 30 minutes south of Charlotte. We're several hours from Atlanta, about an hour from Columbia, South Carolina, if that gives you a little bit of reference, but we are right down the road from Charlotte, North Carolina. We actually just got rated in the top 25 small towns to watch in the country, so we are rapidly growing. We're an old textile mill town turned international sports tourism town, and you'll see that reflected in a lot of areas in our town, including our Riverwalk area, where we hosted the BMX National Championships a couple years ago. We have the Carolina Panthers training facility moving down to Rock Hill, which is just going to really lend to even more internship and job opportunities for our students in the coming years. And all of those old textile mill factories that we used to have that were abandoned here are now being renovated and developed into a really awesome square mile development right down the road from downtown. There's going to be our sport and rec center. We have our exercise science facility and then a lot of new shops and restaurants there as well. All right, so we are lower end of medium size. We have about 6,000 total students, with about 5,000 of those being undergraduate students. So we only have about 1,000 graduate students. And I say that to say, I think when there are, a few less graduate students, it really enhances your experience as an undergraduate student, because you really get to do a lot of the things that maybe at some universities graduate students have priority of. And although we are a little smaller, we are pretty well represented throughout the country and throughout the world. If you have any questions about these on this next screen, please let me know. We do absolutely have an honors program that you can be a part of. Of course, there are some perks to being in honors. We have long-term and short-term study abroad options. And we do have undergraduate research for any major, and you can start as early as your first year. We have 43 undergraduate majors with a whole slew of concentrations and minors underneath that. Our average class size is right at 21, but like you saw in that video, some of those classes are going to be as small as 5 or 6 people. So if that's something you're looking for, you're definitely going to find it. You're definitely going to be able to build those relationships with your professors and with your peers here at Winthrop. Like you saw in that video as well, we have a ton of things to do here at Winthrop and around the community as well. We have a lot of organizations and clubs. That includes our Greek orgs, as well as our intramural sports and club sports. And although we are a little smaller, we are part of the Division I. We're part of the Big South Conference. We actually have the most winningest men's basketball team in our Big South Conference. So all of those games and events are really fun and really hype. There are a couple of ways to become a Winthrop Eagle. This is the first route. You're going to look at those top 3 things as the required materials: your high school transcript, those official test scores, and that completed online application. This is if you are applying with test scores. If you decide to go the test optional route, you absolutely can do that. And of course, we will not expect those scores. We will just need your transcript, that online application, and we will ask for you to answer a question for us as a short answer essay. If you can get all of those materials into us by April 1st, you will be eligible for our Winthrop Merit Scholarships, which are Winthrop Academic Performance-Based Scholarships. Those are awarded automatically. You do not have to apply separately for those. We also offer talent scholarships, athletic scholarships. We are a part of Raise Me if you are accumulating scholarships there. We have our community service oriented scholarship that is worth up to $5,000 per year. That is called our close scholarship. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. I can give you more information. And for everyone that's living outside of South Carolina, we absolutely offer out-of-state waivers. So please let me know if you want some more info about how to attain one of those out-of-state waivers as an out-of-state student. But I don't want to spill into anyone else's time here. That is it for me. If you want to connect with us, the best way is on our Instagram at Winthrop Admissions. And that's all I've got. Again, my name is Allison Blackwelder. This is my contact information, but I'm actually going to link it into the chat as well. So thank you guys so much. And I'm going to send it off to my colleague over at Hofstra.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Allison, with Winthrop University. If you have any questions for Winthrop University, please put it down in the Q&A down at the bottom. Next, we have Hofstra University.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Tamara. I'm actually from Florida, from the South, and went to Hofstra for both my bachelor's and master's. And hopefully today in the 6 minutes, you can kind of figure out why I stuck around as a member of the Hofstra Pride. So we are located in the suburbs of Long Island. We are 25 miles outside of New York City. So you are getting the best of both worlds, right? Campus life, you see that beautiful green lawn, as well as New York City. Because of that, most of our students are interning. 71% of our students are completing at least one internship, sometimes 2 or 3, depending on their academic major. This is a small list of where our students are interning. And so we really highlight your experiential learning here at Hofstra to also highlight your academic experience. We are a medium-sized private institution, so we have about 7,000 undergrads, 165 different academic programs. Average class size is about 21, with that student-to-faculty ratio being 13:1. Class sizes are super small for your success. The professors and faculty know you, they know where you're succeeding and where you might need a little bit of help. We don't have large lecture halls. The largest classroom you'll ever be in is 65. So we like to keep that academic learning super small for you. We have about 200 different clubs and organizations. Housing is guaranteed all 4 years, but it is not a requirement for you to live on campus with us. You can live off campus and commute. And if you ever wanted to live back on campus, you always have a spot available for you. We are Division I. We have 21 Division I sports, basketball being our largest. And our students are very active in not only the Hofstra community, but the Hempstead and Long Island area as well. We do have 2 early action deadlines. The first is November 15th. Apply by then, you'll have an admission decision on December 15th. If you miss that, no problem. Early action 2 is right around the corner. That deadline is December 15th, with decisions going out around January 15th. And after that is rolling admission. There is no preferential treatment for students applying early action 1 or rolling admission because you are reviewed under the same treatment. We're a holistic review process, which means we look at everything. We look at your transcript, your test scores, we're looking at your essay. Yes, we read your essay, your letters of recommendation. All that's going to make an admission decision for us. But we know students like to have some sort of average of where they might fall. So the average SAT is a 1220, ACT is a 27, and GPA is about a 3.7. Now we are test optional, that big orange box there. We've been test optional for a number of years, which means test scores are not required for both admission and scholarship. Now, how do you get scholarship? When you apply to Hofstra, you're being reviewed for admission and scholarship all on the same application. So there's no deadline, there's no form, there's no essay. You apply to Hofstra, you're getting considered for the same scholarship. Again, it doesn't matter if you're applying early action 1 or rolling admission. And this is all merit-based. So if you're submitting test scores, your scholarship will be determined by your test score and your GPA. If you're a test optional student, we'll look more closely at your transcript, the kinds of classes you're taking, where you're challenging yourself, and as well as your GPA to determine that scholarship. This is me. Like I said, I recruit in Florida. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hofstra University. If you have any questions for Hofstra University, again, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A function. Go ahead and put it down there. And also occasionally check the chat because you may have some of these representatives putting in their email addresses or any websites that they want you to check out. We have next Charleston Southern University.
Hey guys, I am going to go ahead and share my screen. But my name is Annie. I am the Assistant Director at Charleston Southern University, and I am actually joined by Riley Vargas, one of our enrollment counselors today. And so if y'all have any questions, she'll be answering those in the Q&A block. But Charleston Southern is located in Charleston, South Carolina, beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. And we are a liberal arts core school. And so you really get a firm foundation in your education, getting really just that great all around knowledge in addition to what you are looking to major in. We are NCAA Division I athletics, so if you are interested in playing a sport or continuing on from high school, we are a great place to do that. And we do have a small student to faculty ratio of 13:1, so you are in small class sizes, usually about 20 to 30 students, so getting that individualized attention from the professor. And we have about 3,600 students altogether, so a relatively small campus and student body. Some of our top majors are nursing, business, education, kinesiology, as well as biology. But we have numerous others that you can choose from. We have a new physical therapy program, as well as a great athletic training program. So if those are of interest to you, it's a great route to go. Right now, our app is completely free on our website, so a great time to take advantage of that and apply. Like some other schools, we are test flexible, so that means we do not require your test scores to make an admissions decision, but we will look at your transcript, so that GPA, try to keep that as high as possible. Typically, though, our minimum GPA is a 2.0, so if you are above that, definitely apply. You can find that on our website. Every student is paired with an enrollment counselor based on where you live. So they will serve as your main point of contact and answer any questions you have regarding financial aid or the admissions process. If you have questions right now, though, feel free to drop those in the chat. But we would also love to have y'all come into our campus. Despite COVID, we are still offering personal visits to campus, as well as some small weekend events. So those are all posted date-wise on our website that you can go and check out and RSVP for. I always recommend a personal visit to campus. We have those every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And we have tour times at 10 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m. So there is no better way to experience Charleston Southern, as well as Charleston, other than visiting. So definitely go and check that out. And we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so, so much. That was Charleston Southern University. Please, if you have any questions, down at the bottom of the Q&A, please double check, make sure that you're asking any questions, and also please make sure that you put the university or the college that you are addressing the question to in your question. Other than that, we have Westminster College, Missouri up next.
Hi guys, I'm super glad to join you guys this evening. My name is Lane Hume. I am the regional admissions counselor for Westminster College. So I work predominantly with students in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. So Westminster is a small private liberal arts school. We're located in central Missouri. This picture is kind of the heart of our campus. We were founded in 1851. What's really unique about us is the fact that it's where Winston Churchill gave the Iron Curtain speech back in 1946. So the church you're looking at here is actually a Christopher Wren church that was in the central part of London, got bombed in World War II, and was gifted to us in remembrance of Churchill. And we also have the largest piece of the Berlin Wall in all of North America, right in the heart of our campus. We also have a multi-million-dollar museum on campus. So we have a really unique flair in that we get a lot of tourism, and we have a lot of history that we're really, really proud of and celebrate on a regular basis. Just some fast facts about Westminster. We have a 98% success rate. So that means that 6 months after graduating, 98% of our students are either working in their field or in graduate school. We have an 11-to-1 student-teacher ratio. So similar to what we've been hearing, we have a really intimate classroom experience. We also have no large lecture halls. You get to know your professors on a first name basis, and it really allows you to be more successful in the classroom. Something we do that's special to us is the Hancock Symposium and notable speakers. So after having a really big success with, Churchill coming and giving the Iron Curtain speech, we've continued this over the years. So every fall we cancel classes for two days in September. We bring in about 25 speakers from all over the world and talk about important topics in the world. So we're really passionate about education outside of that traditional classroom experience. Just to give you an example, our keynote speaker 2 years ago was Madeleine Albright, the first female Secretary of the United States. And then our keynote speaker this year, when we went virtual, was NASA's chief scientist. So we have really, really cool speakers that come. What makes it different at Westminster is that you get one-on-one time with these people as a student, because you're not competing with thousands of other students. So you can interview them for the newspaper, maybe have lunch with them, and really kind of get an exciting experience that you can't get anywhere else. We do an undergraduate scholars forum. We're really passionate about research. We're only an undergraduate institution. So similar to what some of the other counselors mentioned here, all of our energy is dedicated to that undergraduate experience. So many of our students are even published with their professors before they even graduate undergrad, which is a huge deal. We're located in Fulton, Missouri. And we're actually a smaller town, but have a really quirky personality. Smithsonian chose it as one of the top 15 best small towns in 2019. So don't let the small town scare you away. So these are our top programs of study. Really what we're well known for is the fact that we offer a cadaver lab. So our pre-med track sciences are very popular. We really prepare students well for medical school or anything in the medical field. It's exceptionally rare to have an ability to do a full cadaver lab and human anatomy dissection in an undergraduate experience. We also have some really cool things in security studies, and we offer something really cool that's called a self-design major. So if you are wanting to create your own major, you can work with your faculty to do that, which is really unique both for the job market or going into graduate studies, or if you just want to combine a really unique aspect of education. So for student life, we have lots of stuff going on. We offer study abroad options. We do something really cool called Take a Friend Home. So if you become friends with an international student, Westminster will actually pay for you to go home to their home country and experience their culture, which is something really unique to us. Other really cool clubs and organizations, we have something called the Blue Blazers, which is our investment club. Our stock portfolio is now valued at over $1 million, and our students run that entire portfolio themselves. We're also an NCAA Division III athletics program. About half of our students play a sport, which is really high. And we're also a Greek campus. We have multiple fraternities and sororities, and about half of our students are in a fraternity or a sorority as well, which is also very unusual. Our students are very involved. Most of our students do 5 to 6 activities each. So it's a really perfect place if you're the sort of student that wants to do lots of different things and not sacrifice a certain area of your interest, whether it be social, study abroad, or academics. So visiting campus is something that you are definitely still able to do right now. We do virtual visits, we do welcome to Westminster's, but we still do individual tours as well. Because we're a small campus, we can, socially distance and wear masks and things like that, and it's still safe to come visit campus. As far as the application process for us, it is completely free. We do accept the Common App. We do rolling admissions. So that means that if you apply with us within usually a week to 2 weeks at maximum, you'll hear back from me or somebody in the admissions enrollment office. We are fully test optional, so we do not require ACT or SAT scores, and we will not do that in the future. It's something we are permanently embracing. We do an optional essay and letters of recommendation, but if you don't have your test scores submitted, I do encourage that. And we do automatically consider you for scholarships, even without your test scores. So you don't have to fill out any additional paperwork or anything like that. So it's really an easy process. And I definitely encourage you guys to explore that on our website. I've already shared my contact information on the chat option as well. And I just want to thank you guys for joining us this evening and giving us a little bit of your time.
Awesome. Thank you so, so much. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions for Westminster College, Missouri, please put it down in the Q&A down at the bottom. Next up, we have Florida International University.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. And thank you, our lovely audience, for being with us today. Give me just a moment to share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to give you just kind of a quick overview of what life is like at FIU. If you guys are interested, we have a whole portfolio, a catalog of different virtual presentations that we've accumulated over this our time at home. So please, I'm going to share that in the chat at the end of our presentation, and feel free to take a look at that. We will be happy to talk to you one-on-one, or you can see any of the presentations that we have available to you now. FIU, Florida International University, is a large public-based institution located in Miami, Florida. We are the 4th largest public institution in the entire nation, servicing just under 57,000 students with an alumni network of over 200,000. We offer 200 plus majors with over 300 plus clubs here at the institution. So just know that we offer all of these majors because we want to provide you the opportunity to explore all the different interests. Statistically speaking, most college students end up changing their major, changing their major twice during their academic career. So it's okay. We want to offer that opportunity so that you can explore all of your interests. And being a South Florida-based institution, we want you to go out into the community, to express and to really supplement your education from the classroom outside with all the clubs and organizations. And you'll kind of see that reflected here. So first and foremost, I'm just going to talk about this. FIU is a top 50 institution. The number one thing that I want to highlight is we are a top 50 in social mobility. What that means is that we are basically a top 50 institution in awarding degrees to students who are Pell eligible. We are the number one institution in providing degrees to Hispanic students. So just know that FIU prides itself on really providing you a platform to expand any of your interests and any of your passions. Panthers on the front line of COVID. I know that's on everybody's mind, and so we want you guys to know that FIU has been taking a frontline approach since the very beginning. One of our wonderful science professors in the office of in the Department of Chemistry, Dr. Eileen Marty, has been a consultation presence since the very beginning of this pandemic. We are doing contact tracing since the moment that our staff stepped foot back on campus, and right now 1/3 of our students are currently still taking classes on campus, and we are looking to improve that number during the rest of this upcoming semester. We are currently offering VIP tours, but we are looking to expand those within the next month and a half to open those back up to the public. But you guys do have the option of visiting campus and making sure that you guys can give self-guided tours during your own personal time. Real problems, real solutions. Like I said, FIU has a presence in the community. Really cool here. I was actually able to intern during my time as an alumni of FIU at the Patricia and Philip Frost Art Museum and the Wolfsonian, two completely different artistic styles, but really cool while I got to supplement my history degree with a museum study certificate. Really cool, and you'll see that reflected in a lot of different areas and a lot of different colleges here at the university. Real experience. Like I was saying, we want you to have frontline experience. On the left, you'll see some of our students working at the South Beach Student Wine Festival, which is a partnership that our Chaplain School of Hospitality has, and our students have that opportunity, our junior and senior level students, every single year to actually man that experience, work side by side with these chefs who end up providing job opportunities at graduation. Real education. For those of you that are interested in the field of STEM, we have our wall of wind, which is able to simulate up to Category 5 winds, so that you're able to conduct your own personal research under those controlled under that controlled environment. Because FIU is Florida's #1 public research institution, 98% of our professors are conducting their own research. So please, even as a freshman student, make sure that you're reaching out to them. They will allow you to get into lab. They will tell you what they're studying, what they're working on, and they'll allow you to get into that experience even as a freshman or a sophomore student. And these amenities, the Medina Aquarius Reef Base, which we acquired from the University of Sydney about 4 years ago, is right off the coast of Key West, provide you that opportunity to actually work hand in hand with your professors. Keep in mind, the Medina Aquarius Reef Base is generally reserved for our graduate level students. And so real education, we just want you to know that we offer a variety of programs, being over 200 degree programs, theater, which we have received a grant just a year and a half ago, so that we are going to continue to improve our commitment to the arts, and then crime science, which is our newest program here at the institution. It's basically for those of you that are interested in criminal minds, it's like, think criminal justice mixed with computer science. Very innovative, super cool. Only had 2 cohorts thus far. It's real dynamic. The Honors College, just know that we provide the Honors College, which is different than your obvious honors experience in high school, but it allows you to really enhance your experience here at FIU without extending your time that you're going to be at the university. And so real driven, just know that FIU Panthers, FIU students are really about getting out there and showcasing what they're learning in the classroom. They have so much passion for what they do. They take it all to competition, and you would not believe the parades that go through FIU in celebration of our students' accomplishments. And then real enterprising, just know that easily one of the top 5, actually top 2 most popular majors here at the institution is our international business program. We have a top 50. We're actually number 20, or actually I think we're #2 international business program in the entire nation. And so just know that we provide a ton of opportunities for you to foster and develop those thoughts, those business ideas that you thought about in high school, that economics class. You'll be able to really put those into practice, really see that grow from an idea into an actual startup. So know that we give you a platform to do those things. I want to thank you all so much for allowing me to talk at you. I know there's so much information. Just don't worry. I'm going to put a link into our chat below. You guys can reach out to me, or if you're interested, again, sign up for any of those presentations. Thank you. Know that FIU is here for you, and we'll answer any questions you have for us.
Thank you so much, Elliot. Appreciate it. So if you have any questions for Florida International University, please put it down in the Q&A down at the bottom so Elliot can answer them for you. Also, we have, last but certainly not least, University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Hey there, everyone. Greetings from a very chilly and snowy Madison, Wisconsin. My name is Camille Walter, and I'm your admissions representative for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So within the next 6 minutes, I'm definitely going to highlight what it's like to be a Badger here in Madison, Wisconsin. So first and foremost, we'll discuss when Madison was founded. University of Wisconsin-Madison was founded in 1848. And we are a very large and diverse university with more than 30,000 undergraduate students, including 7,000 freshmen from all 50 states and 120 different countries. I like to tell students that although we are a large campus, there are many ways to feel included and in a tight-knit community. That's definitely through our student organizations, as well as our student to faculty ratio being pretty small for a large university. So it's about 20-1. So a lot of great ways to connect with faculty on campus. Next, we'll chat a little bit about what it's like to live in Madison and what it's like to actually live in the capital city of Wisconsin as a Badger. As you can see, we are in the Midwest, which means that it's a great opportunity to really enjoy all 4 seasons. We have endless amount of outdoor activities to enjoy, including hiking, biking, skiing, and utilizing the lakes around us during the warmer months of the year. Madison is also home to a wide variety of cuisines and restaurants, local shops to shop at, and of course, the world's largest farmers market, which many students will go and partake and enjoy during the summer months. And I have to make a plug, you gotta get the cheese curds here, baby. You have to get the cheese curds. Next, we'll talk a little bit more about UW-Madison's rankings as a university. On a high level, our rankings are phenomenal. We rank very competitively as one of the top institutions in the country and around the entire world. We really value the Wisconsin idea, which means that what our students are learning in the classroom expands far and beyond just the classroom walls. So we're not only helping our local community in Wisconsin, but we're also helping our entire world. Our Badgers are doing what they love. We have 125 different undergraduate majors to explore and more than 70 plus certificates to also explore as well. So a certificate is very similar to a minor, but it does allow students to engage a little bit more in unique studies that may be tied to their major. So this will actually make students and our Badgers a little bit more competitive going into those first level jobs, as well as potentially grad school and beyond after their time here at UW. We also have direct entry programs for our School of Business, our College of Engineering, and our music and dance programs. And I wanted to touch that it's completely okay to apply to UW undecided. In fact, we encourage it so that you can come to campus and explore a little bit about some of your favorite interests. You can also work with our cross-college advisors to make sure that once you find that right fit, they will help you get into that major and make it so that it's going to be the best years of your life here at UW. Again, lots of different ways to find your community and a group of friends here at UW. One of our thousands of student organizations is one way to do so. We rank as one of the top universities in the country with the best variety of student orgs. So since Madison is actually between the largest cities in our country, top cities in our country, excuse me, we have Chicago not so far away and also Minneapolis. We do get a lot of big shows come through, performing arts and great concerts that will come for nights in Madison. So some things to check out there. We also have the world's largest international film festival, and our students will also get involved. Many students do get involved with our Greek life on campus. And of course, we're the Badgers. We are a Big Ten school, Division I sports, and you'll see many students go to Camp Randall on the weekends to cheer on our Badgers, and many of our Badger athletic sporting events. You'll see many students going and sharing their Badger pride at our games. The Wisconsin experience is going to be unique to each and every Badger. Your Wisconsin experience could be maybe studying abroad through one of our 100 of different programs that are offered, undergraduate research opportunities, which aren't for just upperclassmen students, it's for all students. We are a research institution, so we really take pride in the research that our students are doing. You may get involved potentially in an internship or co-op. We do partner with many Fortune 500 companies, so that students can get involved with different internships and hands-on experiences. You may want to live on the same floor as students studying within your same major, a great way to learn and engage a little bit more with faculty there. And we also offer first-year interest groups for students, also known around campus as a FIG, where you can study one of your favorite hobbies. For example, maybe like the history of yoga or the history of Italian cuisine, and you'll meet some of your closest friends through some of those first-year groups as well. Our admissions process utilizes a holistic review approach. We look at everything that makes you uniquely you as a student. So again, we look for academic excellence, that you are performing well in those courses, any involvement within your community, and if you're going to make our campus more of an inclusive and welcoming university to all students, and if you're going to be a great fit for your intended major. You can apply to UW-Madison either utilizing the Common Application or the UW System application. In order for us to review your application, we do need those 2 letters of recommendation as well as your grades and coursework. And of course, test optional right now until the summer of 2023. So be sure to either send it in if you'd like to. Otherwise, feel free to not have it read for your application review. That's totally okay as well. And with that, I do want to just quick get to the next slide by just stating that we do have lots of different virtual visits going on right now. So I will share the link for Visit Bucky. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Camille. Camille's from University of Wisconsin-Madison. So please, if you have any questions for Camille for the University of Wisconsin-Madison, you put it down in the Q&A down at the bottom. With that said, we do have some time. So I would love to get a little Q&A going here with a couple questions. And the question that I have for a lot of our attendees, or a lot of our panelists, I'm sorry, for tonight, is what advice would you give someone through the college search process? And we're going to go in the exact order that we presented. So Winthrop University, what advice would you give?
You know, I think there's a lot of advice you can give. I think just one piece that I think was really important, even in my college search process, really was kind of visiting. I think that, I know that's kind of tough right now, but even if you can do a virtual visit just to get a feel, I think that's really going to help you decide what's just a good fit for you. I remember when I was looking for colleges, I was pretty set on one and I wasn't really giving others a chance. And then I actually went to go visit those, and one of them just opened my mind wide open, and I ended up going to that school just because I was able to go see it and see the community around it. So that would be just one piece. There's tons, but that would just be one piece, is if you can visit, definitely encourage you to visit.
Awesome, thank you. Hofstra University.
Yes, my one piece of advice for you is to ask questions. There's no stupid question to ask. Ask if you can sit in on a class. Ask if you can visit during COVID. Ask what the worst part is, or what's one thing that you would change about their school, because you're going to get the most benefit out of asking questions and seeing new experiences, sitting in on that class, and maybe hearing that the worst thing about Hofstra, in my opinion, is that we flood. So bring a pair of rain boots, and that's it. So definitely ask questions, ask the students, ask your admission counselor, ask the faculty, ask whoever you need to make the right college choice for you.
Awesome. Love the honesty with both of those answers. Thank you. Next, we have Charleston Southern University. What advice would you give?
My advice would be to actually find a contact person. So all of us, our enrollment counselors, we definitely reach out to you guys once you fill out the application, but reach out even before you're ready to apply. Have a list of 5 things, just a top 5 things that you really want your college experience to contain, and then ask those questions. Like Tamara was saying, if you don't ask questions, you definitely won't know. And then when you go see the college, you'll see if those top 5 things are there or if they were just telling you about them.
Fantastic advice. Westminster College, Missouri.
So I have, 2. One is something really simple, and it's something I always try to catch the younger students with. If you are just in the process of getting information from schools, set up a separate email account that's like a Gmail or a Yahoo or something that is just like your first name, last name, college, and only use that for your college communications. Because if you use your personal email or school email, you're going to start getting inundated with all these communications, and it's going to get hard to know what's coming from where. And so if you have everything in one easy to access email account, it'll make your life so much easier, and you'll be happy when you're a senior in high school trying to get all of your emails together. My other thing is kind of similar to what some of the other counselors mentioned. It's just relationship building. Don't be afraid to actually have a relationship with your advisors and counselors and things like that, your contacts for the schools that you're interested in. It makes my life so much easier when I can actually chat with students and get to know them on a more personal level, because then I can help connect them to scholarship opportunities or whatever it may be. But I can't do that unless I actually know the student and have an ability to communicate with them. So I know we live in a world of technology and it's easy to do everything online, but don't be afraid to build some relationships with some of the people that you meet at your institutions that you're interested in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lane. Florida International University.
Welcome back. I would have to say, please, please, please start early. The earlier that you start the college admissions process, the easier your life is going to be. Whether it's going to be early decision, whether your school you decide to go to does that. Whether it comes to scholarships, a lot of schools want you to be admitted or at least applied by the end of December. So make sure that you're getting on top of that. Whether it's micro scholarships, for those of you in the southern region, Florida, raise.me, a lot of times you have to make sure that you are registered before the start of that new year. Especially when it comes to financial aid. I'm not a financial aid representative. Please talk to your own unique school and their rep. But when it comes to that FAFSA, regardless of how long you're in school, every single year, the earlier that you fill that out, I promise you it is going to make your life so much easier. Everyone here, everyone who's ever attended college will back me up on that. And for the record, ladies, all that advice, I wish I had heard that when I was in school. So thank you so much.
Something I love about this group is that we all have so much passion about what we do. So thank you all so much for bringing that in. And last but not least, University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Hey everyone, so my biggest piece of advice is when you're starting your college search, to really make a list of those top, maybe even top 10 schools that sound of interest to you, even if you can get it a little bit smaller. And now that we're living in the age of social media, it's a great opportunity to go and check out those Instagram pages. Whatever you can get at the tip of your fingers, you'll see a lot of universities and colleges utilizing their social media channels to really explore and share current students and what current students are up to. So you can kind of see, I can give you my advice from, it's been 6 years now that I've been in college, but that's so long ago. So it's really cool to see what current students are involved in right now and taking advantage of at campus. So I definitely suggest starting to look at social media channels if that's something that's available to you, to do so and check out the different schools and universities that you're interested in.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. At this point in time, we have reached the end of this amazing virtual college fair with the institutions that we had in this session. I just want to thank you all so much for attending, not only as attendees, but our panelists today from all different types of institutions. Again, I want to just remind everybody that once you close out this window and this webinar is done, there'll be a really quick survey with just 4 questions. Please give us some feedback and answer those 4 questions. We do not have any more sessions to sign up for tonight, so please disregard that. But this recording will be available within about a week or so of tonight's date and time. But thank you all so much for attending and have a great night.